My girlfriend was considered a princess charming in our social circle, but during my birthday celebration on a yacht she pushed me into the sea just to impress another guy from our university, making fun of my fear of water. Little did she know, I suffered from aquaphobia. As a result, I ended up in the ICU while she managed to win over the heart of the campus belle. When I finally woke up, she was by my side apologizing, but I had no clue who she was. "Excuse me, do I know you?" I asked, completely baffled. The doctor explained that I had lost part of my memory. However, she kept insisting she was my girlfriend. I couldn't help but argue back. "No way. My girlfriend is Rachel Landon." Everyone knew Rachel Landon was her sworn enemy. My girlfriend was Jessica Reed, a princess charming in River City social circle. She had always been wild and extravagant, spending money recklessly and surrounded by men. I spent 3 years with her, during which she treated me well and even proposed. But recently, she became interested in someone new. He was a young, handsome college student with fair skin and an elegant demeanor. She couldn't resist his innocence and kindness. To amuse him, she didn't hesitate to push me into the sea on my birthday. Today, the sky stretched endlessly, a flawless expanse of blue without a hint of cloud in sight. However, the calm water unexpectedly turned into large splashes. I struggled in the water, feeling despair wash over me as I watched the people on the yacht. A guy named James Fox stood on the edge of the yacht in a white shirt, his eyes innocent and bright. Seeing my distress, James delicately covered his mouth and smiled. His smile was captivating. Jessica also joined in the laughter. She was smiling brightly, and even her worried expression eased up a bit. By the time she heard my cries for help, I was already sinking. The sensation of drowning was suffocating. I had nearly drowned as a child, and ever since, I'd been terrified of water. I hadn't wanted to celebrate my birthday on a yacht, but I couldn't resist Jessica's persuasion. However, when I arrived on the yacht, I found not only our usual friends but also a handsome stranger. Jessica doted on him, serving him drinks and fruit, even giving him the first slice of cake. Her attentiveness, which she hadn't shown me in a long time, struck me as odd. I immediately sensed something was wrong, but I never suspected her. It wasn't until she pushed me into the sea that it hit me. Jessica had a change of heart. She watched me slowly sinking, leisurely lifting her sunglasses onto her forehead, squinting as she looked at me struggling in the water and began to mock. "Stellan, are you really that helpless in the water? Quit pretending. Just come up already. James finds you entertaining enough, no need to keep up the act." The mocking laughter was grating. "Jessica, it seems like he really can't swim," someone yelled out after sensing something was amiss, and swiftly tossed a life buoy to me, but by then, my body was already sinking. "Save him." The scene was chaotic, and several people worked together to rescue me onto the yacht. But even after several rounds of CPR, I didn't wake up. My body gradually grew colder. Jessica started to panic, hurriedly taking me to the hospital and rushing me into the emergency room. There, doctors worked tirelessly for over 2 hours before managing to revive me. Jessica breathed a sigh of relief upon hearing the doctor say I was out of immediate danger. If things had taken a turn for the worse, she would have been labeled a murderer. While she enjoyed having fun, she certainly didn't want to wind up behind bars. It wasn't until the next day that I woke up in the hospital bed. As I looked at the ceiling and caught the lingering scent of disinfectant, confusion welled up in my eyes. Just as I moved, a throbbing pain shot through my head. I lifted my hand to my forehead, grunting softly. Jessica, who had just returned, spotted me awake and hurried over, gripping my hand eagerly. "Stellan, you woke up at last. When you were unconscious the whole night, I feared you might never open your eyes again." I jerked my hand back suddenly, staring at her with suspicion while furrowing my brows. "Who are you?" "Stellan, are you joking? I'm your girlfriend, Jessica Reed." Jessica grabbed my hand again and laughed. However, as she looked into my fearful eyes, mistaking my distress for pretense, her tone gradually grew impatient. "It was wrong of me to push you into the sea, but there's no need for this. You're fine now, aren't you? Girlfriend? What nonsense are you talking about? My girlfriend is Rachel Landon." I abruptly pulled away from her grasp, clutching a pillow in front of me, glaring at her with sharp, wary eyes. I had no idea who she was. "What? Who did you say is your girlfriend?" Jessica's eyes bulged with anger, and she slammed her fist on the bedside table. Rachel was her archenemy. Ever since childhood, she had consistently been defeated by Rachel, nurturing a profound hatred for her that she couldn't even articulate. As I looked around the empty hospital room, then at Jessica, who was approaching with growing fury, I shouted anxiously, "Don't touch me. I don't know you." My outcry summoned the doctor. Seeing how resistant I was to Jessica, the nurse escorted her out of the room to wait at the door. The doctor conducted a series of examinations on me, asking many questions. Afterward, he advised me to rest. Jessica stood by the door for a while, calming down. As soon as the doctor left, she rushed forward and interrogated. "Doctor, what's wrong with my boyfriend? Why doesn't he recognize me? And how could he claim another woman as his girlfriend? She might have experienced some trauma causing memory loss. He might recover after some time, but don't stress him during this period," the doctor instructed. Jessica was in disbelief. How could he just forget about her?